Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Once again, I rise today to address the serious issue that is causing thousands of deaths in Canada each year. Importing and exporting of dangerous drugs and substances is a serious threat to Canadians. More must be done. Mr. Speaker, I introduced Bill 338, which would amend the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act in order to increase sentences for offences related to importing and exporting controlled drugs and substances. Bill C-338 indicates that if the subject matter of the offence is as a substance included in Schedule 1 less than 1 kilogram or in Schedule 2 guilty in indictable offences and liable imprisonment for life with minimum sentence for 2 years. It also includes that if the subject matters of the offences is substance including in Schedule 1 in an amount that is more than 1 kilogram, is guilty of indictable offences and liable to imprisonment for life and a minimum punishment for 3 years. The current sentences is too light, and this is unacceptable and does not deter drug traffickers and continuing importing and exporting and profit at the expense of society's most vulnerable. This reality is that criminals who import and export deadly drugs and substances are responsible for thousands of lost lives. Mr. Speaker, Canadian families expect safe and healthy communities in which to raise their children. Canadians are especially concerned about crime, which is why Conservative government introduced and passed over 30 measures aiming at strengthening our justice system, standing up for the victims and keeping our streets safe. Canadians lose faith in criminal justice system when they feel that the punishment does not fit the crime. We make no apologies for strengthening penalties for drug trafficking or any other criminals. We must ensure that sentencing still reflects Canadian desires to get tough on drug dealers and other criminals. We are in grip of deadly fentanyl epidemic. In Ontario, about 2 people died due to the opioid overdoses, mostly by fentanyls. A few months ago, former Health Minister Jane Philpott claimed that Canada needs more data for the opioid overdose crisis. I was shocked. The reality is, fentanyl is on our streets and people are dying. We don't need more data. We need action now, and Bill C-338 will just do that. Mr. Speaker, in 2016, opiate claimed the lives of at least 2,458 Canadians, according to the new estimate released by Public Health Agency of Canada. Light sentences make it appealing for drug dealers to produce illegal substances in basements, labs, and kitchens. These dangerous drugs are produced in such condition that it is impossible to predict the strength of each dose. In my riding of Markham Unionville, drug lab was discovered in the heart of upper middle-class residential neighborhood. This forced residents to evacuate their homes. From coast to coast to coast, no community in any member's riding is immune to this epidemic. I truly understand the need for robust prevention and treatment option for addicts, but you cannot rehabilitate dead bodies. Let me finish it this way. As it stands, the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act provide inadequate, unintimidating punishment for criminals who import and export lethal drugs and substances. Those that import and export these drugs and substances must be brought to justice and must face increased mandatory minimum sentences. Our constituents expect us to do more to keep our children and communities safe. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.